Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Last of Us Part 2. And now we're starting Abby's half of the game.
So, most games would probably do something like give two separate campaigns that you want to play through or whatnot. But instead, no, this game literally shoves another campaign right into the middle of things.
The problem, Jova, that's exactly the thing, Jova. Knowing what we both know about the epilogue, Jova, let's think about this. Could you think about if they did that, though? They probably will do something similar to what Shadow the Hedgehog does. They would do an Ellie campaign where you can win and kill Abby as Ellie. Then you have an Abby campaign where you can kill Ellie as Abby. And then there's an epilogue that renders the other two endings pointless.
Well, here's an idea. Just do the two campaigns, and then maybe have the training be a culmination of the two, or how about just not include the epilogue? Because Lord knows this game drags enough as it is, and that epilogue just makes things worse. But honestly, this game maybe could have gone for, or hell, do what War for Cybertron does. Have like one campaign just be half of the game, and then you spend the rest of the game playing as the other party, and by that I mean not shove it in the middle of stuff here like this game does, but actually have it so that it's a proper transition to stuff. Here's an interesting thing of how things could have gone here. Why not have the entire first half of this game have us play as Abby?
Can we go here? Oh no, wait, sorry.
For as much as I hate Abby, there were better ways to get us to supposedly like her of sorts. Here's a suggestion. Do sort of something similar to War for Cybertron. Have us start the game as Abby, starting with her childhood and everything. Give us time to get to know her well. Like, maybe slowly clue us in on the fact that she's on a revenge quest, but don't tell us exactly who she's after vengeance for. That is until we figure it out. And then when she finally comes face with Joel, then, well, like it should have gone like in the original plan here, have her get to know Joel before eventually she has to take him out.
Well, that was the original plan, Jova. That's the thing. But anyway, let me interrupt you here because this is the introduction of a new collectible. So Abby's collectible is not trading cards. Instead, Abby makes a collection of American coins, as in she has a coin for every state. This specific coin is for Virginia.
Okay.
If I want to know what states there are in the US, I'd watch that Animaniacs song.
Yeah, Wacko's America. Yeah.
To be fair, I'm quite familiar with this hobby of collecting coins of different states here. I did it with my parents back in the day, with quarters and whatnot. But yeah. My plan would have been, have us play the first half as Abby so that we actually get to know her well. It's sort of like in War for Cybertron. In War for Cybertron, you spend you can technically choose if you want to play the Decepticon campaign or the Autobots campaign. But chronologically, the Decepticon... Anyway, I need the time.
3:30, 31, 32.
Okay... I'm at 3:55.
They're gonna be waiting a bit then. It's okay.
Shouldn't be too long.
Don't worry, I'm paying attention. 55, I know. You already know what's happening anyway. Okay. And click. So guys, want to take a guess who this guy is?
Her dad.
Very good, Whips.
I mean, she's been looking for him, and then he showed up.
Anyway, to recap, this is Abby 4 years ago. This was around the same time that the first game ended. Well, shortly before the first game ended, because shortly before the first game ended, basically.
Fun fact, some people have pointed out that this character apparently had a darker complexion in the original game, but apparently they had to whitewash him to make him Abby's parent in this game. Just thought that would be an interesting bout of trivia.
So yeah, so there you go, Jova. Just like you, Abby also got her coin collecting Abby from her dad. So I guess this is an American thing.
And all it took was whitewashing him.
Yeah, basically everybody, if you go back and well, actually, to be fair, Jova, let's not mention that you're talking about right now yet.
Oh,
because...
no, Pedro. I'm not.
Your dad. I see things.
Yeah.
Like the way you both try really, really hard not to look at each other when you're around.
In the meantime, let's continue.
And he makes you laugh.
That's because he's such an idiot.
Abs, look. Fresh tracks.
Fresh tracks.
It's just your sneaky way of giving me a tracking lesson, isn't it?
Haha, a tracking lesson. Very nice.
Is it working?
What are they tracking?
Well, whoops, let's see. If I told you, it would spoil. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, you know what's the interesting thing? That I noticed on my second playthrough, by the way. This is kind of well, actually, no, never mind. I'll mention it some other time. Later when it becomes more relevant, actually.
Alright, so is this going to be the thing now, Pedro? For the most part, it's just you and me talking.
It seems like it. Apologies, everybody. It seems Jova has decided to. Well, no, sorry. Discord decided to cut down Jova.
Yeah, just like this game cut down Joel. Wait,
yes.
Joel, Jova.
It's a conspiracy theory, I tell you.
It's against people whose name starts with the letter J.
Indeed.
They call it the Janocide. That's horrible.
Jason.
Yeah, exactly.
Jason.
Oh, hi, Jova. You're back with us?
Yes, I'm back.
Oh, there we go.
All right, we apologize, everybody. Don't worry. It's not like there's anything going on anyway. Carry on, Jova.
Like I said, in War for Cybertron, you have the choice to play as the Decepticons or the Autobots first. Now, chronologically, the Decepticons are the first half of the story. You get to see a lot of lead-in and stuff here and there. But it is nice build-up if you want to play.
Oh, sorry, Jova. I'm gonna have to interrupt you, Jova. Sorry. Look at that, guys. Abby's dad is such a cool, awesome guy. You know what he does in his spare time? He saves poor, defenseless animals who get brought up in traps.
Yeah, but that's her dad, not her.
No, Jova. Don't worry, Dwips. I'll get to that. Trust me, Dwips. The reason why they're painting.
Everything will fall into place.
Trust me, Dwips. There's a good reason why Neil is painting her father as such a wonderful saint.
Let me guess, he's either gonna die, or it turns out that behind the scenes he's an arsehole.
Well, let's see. Alright, so this is younger Owen. He used to not have facial hair at all, and he used to have somewhat shaved hair compared to how he is nowadays. Also, can I ask what kind of parent nicknames her child Abs? Seriously, she Abby's literally called Abs by her father. I'm not even kidding.
I'm not one to try and raise the biggest of assumptions, but it feels like they're taking the piss out of.
It's just short form of her name.
I know.
More than anything.
No, I know that, Shiroi, but considering it's this character, Abs is, a bit okay. Interesting choice.
But she doesn't really have a lot of those yet.
I know, Shiroi. It's just that it's interesting. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
look at that! Look at that, guys! Marlene found a girl. No signs of infection. Who could this be that they're talking about?
Oh no!
Oh God!
Gotta get down there.
Oh, look, guys! The St. Mary's Hospital. Last of Us 1 fans might remember that. Dun dun dun. Yes, Abby's father was the surgeon that Joel killed at the end of the first game. See, Dwibs, I told you there was a reason why Neil was making him look such a saint. Again, like me and Joe have been saying, further part of his demonization of Joel, basically.
I'm just going to point out again that he had a
Well,
darker
mind,
complexion.
he's not. Well, mind. I think they kind of fail at the whole Saints thing. He's like, I'm gonna do this even if it kills somebody.
True. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, like I said before, that is part of why it will fail. Again, as you'll recall, he had a darker complexion in the last game. They whitewashed him for this game. I just find that hilarious.
Yeah,
on top of all this stuff.
Yeah, Joe was right. If you actually go back and watch the original model he had in Last of Us Part 1, his skin was darker. He wasn't outright African American, but his skin was darker. Now, maybe you can make an argument that it was because of the lighting of that particular game, because that game was a PS3 game, so the lighting techniques that this game has weren't available back then. But it is interesting that his skin looks darker in the original game.
Not to mention that because this scene is retconned for this game, we see his complexion clearly, also well.
Not that it matters, does it? I mean, it's not like they literally took an African American character and turned him white. Not really. He was always technically a Caucasian. So.
Again, we have no way of knowing. I just find it silly that of all the things to throw into the fire, they also had whitewashing. It's kind of like, arson, murder, and jaywalking at this point.
Anyway, Marlene asked him, if he was your daughter, what would you do? As in, if he was your daughter who had to be sacrificed, would you sacrifice? So let's see what Abby responds to this.
You're doing the right thing.
Is he?
If it was me,
Of course you would. You see, Dwebs, see how noble Abby is? She was willing to sacrifice herself for the good of the world.
I don't care.
See how much of a better person Abby is than everybody else, Dwebs?
Yeah, this is something David Cage would do.
Okay.
Do you love Abby yet,
A lot of
Shiroi?
comparisons to David.
Shiroi. I know that you found Joel a compelling character in the first game, but did Joel sacrifice himself for the world? I don't think so. So clearly Abby is a superior character.
Okay, let me just point out, again, here's one thing I'm going to point out again. They should have just had Abby be tied to Marlene. Because, even the flashback showed that Marlene was one of the few Fireflies who actually did mean well. Oh, God.
Do you feel sorry for Abby yet, Dibs?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we knew her dad for like 5 minutes. It's like the beginning of the first game.
Oh, Dibs.
Like, how am I supposed to care about Joel's daughter even though we only knew her for like 10 minutes tops?
Well,
you want to know what's
and it's exactly the same thing here, except worse, as we knew her dad for even less time.
Okay, you want to know what? It gets even worse, Dribs. We're later going to, like I said, there will be retcons. We are later going to see a retcon scene, which is an exchange between Jo and her father. Let's just say her father was a massive hypocrite, and leave it at that.
Also, for me, my problem is because I actually did care about...
I'm sorry, Shirley, I'm going to have to interrupt you there because of this dialogue here that I want to point out. Because this is when we're watching this scene again, but from the perspective of Abby, so we get to hear what they say this time.
It's too risky to leave them alive. Too fucking bad.
He's right. We can't have him.
Yeah, there you go. See, Mel, the pregnant woman Ellie killed, she actually wanted to kill Ellie as well. So keep that in mind for later. Go ahead.
Fuck your face!
That's such a David Cage line. Okay, go carry on, Shiroi.
We're done.
But, yeah, honestly, my main problem is because, again, I did care about the death of Joel's biological daughter. My problem here is because we know where this story is going, like, they're trying way too hard to make us like Abby's dad.
Yeah. Like, seriously,
Like
they literally
it's very
start...
clearly forced. I get what you're just saying, like, maybe half an hour isn't enough time, because that's roughly what it was. But, I still cared.
Oh,
because the interactions were just, lovely.
Not just that.
But
yeah.
This is a shit show.
By the way, so yeah, fun fact, even after killing Joel, Abby. Now we're watching the day one of the campaign, but from Abby's perspective. So this is right at the moment that Ellie departs from Jackson, except from Abby's perspective. However, keep in mind we just saw Abby dreaming about her father's death. So even after killing Joel, she hasn't found inner peace yet. Keep that in mind for later. Aside from that. Yeah, that's exactly what Shiroi said. Yeah, they're trying way too hard. They even go out of their way to have Abby literally go, if it was me, I'd wanted you to do the surgery. See how wonderful she is, Shiroi? Isn't she wonderful and noble and good?
Yeah, it's like, I know I said there's a couple of parts.
Oh, sorry, I'm gonna have to interrupt you here. Look at that. Find me one buff person in that gym. At least as buff as her. I'm not even kidding. There's a gym there. And if you probably feel free to watch this video again and pause. I didn't feel like for the sake of this pacing of this video, I decided to just not stay there too long.
Anyway,
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I know I said this a couple of parts ago, but I think it's still true, especially after what we just saw. Yeah, Laura Bailey always recently she's been finding herself playing some characters who are mostly known for their controversy. This character. There was the whole controversy about her playing a black South African woman in Uncharted 4. There was Kate in
Gears 5. Yeah.
Missing.
But Dwibs, look, the WLF even created a school so that children can learn. See, they're not so bad after all, Dwibs. Even during these trying times, they're still trying to teach children. Look at that. Welcome to Mrs. Howell's tremendous kindergarten class. Get it?
Okay.
But again, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of these kinds of schools still around. What's so special about this one?
Yes,
Pedro, are we also going to address how they've been hanging people for death for their wars we saw in Ellie's campaign?
Well, actually, Joe, but the ones hanging people were the Scars, the Seraphites. To be fair,
really, again, it's hard to tell, but all the same, the WLF aren't exactly sunshine and rainbows themselves. Oh, sure, they may look nice and kind, but as we saw with Ellie's campaign,
look at that! Remember that guy that Ellie stabbed during day one? There you go. Now we get to see him being nice with Abby and stuff. See?
Again, like I said, no, I don't know who the fuck this guy is still.
Anyway, Pedro, remind me, when did we get to that little exchange between Joel and Abby's father, cutscene-wise?
Which exchange? Sorry, could you repeat that?
The one between Joel and Abby's dad.
There is no there is no they already showed the flashback when Joel was telling the story to Tommy at the beginning, Jova.
No. I'm talking about the one where, Joel questions Abby's dad about what he would have done if he had to sacrifice a loved one of his. Did we already see that?
No, there is no such cutscene in this game, Joe. I don't know what you're talking about, sorry.
There is, actually, though.
Well, Jova, I've recorded the entire game. Feel free to look for it, because I played this game twice and I didn't get it.
I think that may have been the scene that we saw at the start.
Well, that's what I said. The scene at the start. You didn't actually talk to her. Remember, Jova, that's how it was in the original game. In the original game, you don't even talk to the...
No, Pedro, I didn't say that he talked to her.
No, to the father.
To her dad.
That's what I said, the father. Like, even in the original game, he never...
Not Abby.
Well, in the original game, Joel never actually talks to the father. And even in here, if you go back and... by all means, go back and check part 1 if you don't remember. Even in part 1's version... Sorry, in part 1 of this playthrough's version of that scene, he doesn't actually talk to Abby's dad. So I'm sorry, I don't really know.
No, he does confront Abby's dad. In fact, that's the whole scene with Abby's dad trying to stab him with the scalpel until he shoots him in self-defense.
Well, I don't remember them actually exchanging words, but whatever.
They were very quick and few, but whatever. Though the main draw of things is that Abby's dad is a hypocrite because he clearly hesitates if he would have actually have sacrificed his own daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with someone else's, daughter figure at this case, nope, he's perfectly willing to sacrifice her, even at the protests of some of his colleagues, even.
Now, okay, might as well go back to some things I've been trying to say this whole part. First off, the scene would have Abby's whole revenge scheme would have worked a lot better if it was Marlene that she was trying to get vengeance on, because we've seen Marlene was one of the few actual good Fireflies, and she was one of the few Fireflies who did not have to die, because she actually did plead for her life, but Joel killed her out of pragmatism. Whereas the other Fireflies, Joel was mainly doing that to get Ellie the heck out of there, and in other cases was in self-defense, specifically as well with Abby's father, who was rushing him with a scalpel here and there. But had it been Marlene, Abby's... Don't get me wrong, still might not have cared for Abby, but her reasoning for vengeance would have been a hell of a lot more justified, because Marlene was one of the more quaint souls who probably didn't have it coming. But Joel still did kill her here.
Funny.
I don't get it.
Well, we were talking over it. Are you done, Jova?
I'll get to my other thing first. Just explain to Dwebs.
Basically, Manny is supposed to be a womanizer. He constantly gets other women to sleep with him every day, because he's basically one of those Casanova type of characters. But Neil, I thought this kind of character was considered a big no-no according to you. But whatever. Go ahead, Jova. Carry on.
Back to my original play here. Imagine if we had spent like the first half playing as Abby, getting to know her up to the point, and hell, maybe for extra points they could have given us the option to kill Joel or not, but okay, let's assume that they wanted to stick to the narrative that Joel had to die, fine. But at least have her get to know Joel along the way. Mind you, have her play as play as Abby for that first half and get to know her. Then you spend the second half with Ellie here. You know Abby's story. You know why Ellie wants to take her down. But we, the players, if we got to know Abby well enough, we care more for her. Now, granted, the execution of Abby's story would still have to be good, but at the very least, we'd have better structure to go with. This game really thinks that we have the patience to now see Abby's story in game time, decades after she has killed Joel, mind you, after we've already had a quite padded out venture just trying to get to her. Mm-hmm. And for what purpose? I guess to try and make her more likable, but yeah, also mainly to explain why she wasn't there when Ellie was there to confront her.
Look at that, Webbs. They live in a sports stadium where they have a farm. Interesting.
Well, I mean, at least it's better than in at least it's better than in Kingsman 2, where to show how evil the government are, they have people trapped in cages in football stadiums.
Wow, really? That's so dumb. Anyway, basically, guys, we're about to go on a mission. And Mel is coming with us on this mission. Now, I know what you're going to ask. Why is a pregnant woman going on a mission that is clearly dangerous? Because, this is a military faction. Don't ask me, I ain't got a clue. And here I thought, pregnant women should, be careful because of the baby. I don't know. Just saying.
Just remember, it was told...
The doggies that the game asked me to kill, but I refused.
I'm just saying it now. It's more Mel's fault than anyone that she ended up dead, considering how she insists on going out on missions.
Look at that.
Is that the good boy?
Yeah,
that
Alice.
We murdered.
Yeah, that's Alice. Yes. There you go. Look at that here. See how much of a monster Ellie is, Dwibs. She killed that cute little doggy. Ellie killed it. You see, Dwibs.
I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to have the same story told through the different lifestyles and different perspectives of different people. Mm-hmm. Get that, but when all we've seen so far from Ellie's perspective is that these people were huge bastards who I think tried to kill us first.
Yes,
trying to make us feel sorry for these guys is silly. It's like if in a Bond movie. Imagine if in a Bond movie. We had like the main villain. We had like the main villain be shown to be a guy who loved loved everybody and cured all diseases ever. But from all we saw, the guy was a megalomaniacal monster
You know-
who killed people who slightly crossed him.
You know what? Heck it. You know, hey Dwebs, you know the movie where Bond finally kills Spectre? Imagine if, per se, that movie tried to suggest that Bond did the wrong thing by trying to make a whole backstory about how Spectre was really just a misunderstood child all along, and...
Spectre's the name of an organization, Joe.
No,
Sorry,
you
Blofeld.
get what Jova means though. Like,
Well,
like
I'm
it's-
not sure how better or worse that is than the actual reveal we get in Spectre about Blofeld.
Well, okay,
I don't know. I'm pretty sure.
okay.
I'm sure. Honestly, Dwebs, I would still think Jova's prospect is worse. To be honest.
Exactly. Well, and to be fair, I was going off of more, the original continuity of Bond that you showed me with that bit. But all the same, though, either continuity still stands. You can't try and make someone like Blofeld someone who's sympathetic. Well, maybe you can, but you still can't try and make it that we're supposed to side with him. Like, it just doesn't work. And this is where the TV trope comes into play. Unintentionally unsympathetic. Needless to say, if Abby and her crew were supposed to just be straight up villains, mission accomplished. Trying to make them likable, the damage was done, unfortunately. And trust me, even though they will try, and they will try to make her likable, most people still don't like her. In fact, if anything, some things actually make it worse, as sure I can attest to.
But guys, look, Ellie killed doggos, and look how Abby treats her
They
doggos
tried
so
to
well.
Attacked her, for fuck's sake,
They
Neil.
tried to kill her.
Seriously.
I mean,
Seriously.
Neil, if you want us to side with that perspective, don't show the other one that clearly suggests the opposite. Have you forgot? Either you forgot how to write, or Hallie, or apparently you just let Hallie write whatever the hell she wanted and bother correcting anything.
I just do not understand the mentality.
So
behind this
Shiroi,
thing, but
so
you know
Shiroi,
what?
do you hate Ellie and love Abby already?
No,
But Ellie killed doggos, Shiroi.
the doggo tried to kill her.
But look at how Abby treats her doggos so well. She even plays fetch with
Yeah,
them.
and who's to say Abby wouldn't kill any doggos that attacked her?
But Abby's so wonderful,
Yeah.
Dwebs.
Abby's about as wonderful as that wasp I killed earlier.
True, pretty much.
Oh man, this.
I was gonna say something else, but that's funny.
I'm just gonna say it. I have felt
Good
more
job,
sorry-
Neil. You're doing a good job of being David Cage's successor. Good job, Neil. Go ahead,
I have
Joe.
felt more sorry for Ace Attorney villains than I do Abby through the full extent of this, and I will explain why more. But we've wasted enough time on this part. Tune in for more Abby shenanigans in the next part.
See you then.
See ya.